Welcome to the RNR Dust Stuff podcast where the retro computing, gaming, and hobbies collide.
Welcome back, everyone. I am joined by the bestest, the besties of bestie friends that I could ask for. Ryan, how you doing, bro?
I am wonderful. How you doing, man? And I
Dude,
know there's something special about this episode that we haven't mentioned.
what?
It's episode 10.
Oh my God, we got 10 in the can?
This is 10.
Oh my, okay, well, we have 9 released. We're
Yes.
doing this one, which will then become 10 release. Dude,
Yes.
that's pretty incredible based upon the idea of do you want to do a podcast? I would like to do a podcast. Do you want to do a
I
podcast
know.
with me? I would like to do a podcast with you. And to the 5 people that are listening to us, we really appreciate you. Thank you guys very
Yes. Very much so. I thought this was great. We made double digits.
much.
It's fantastic. Or 2 if you count in binary.
Okay, well that I think, according to the crew that's probably listening to this, we're in the binaries because they're going to
Big.
get that joke. I can't believe you just made that joke.
It was a big joke. But
Ryan just did a programming class today, so that's why he's all in that mode.
yes,
So
most definitely.
he's in that mode. Did you get your homework done?
Most of it.
Good. A listener, today he was doing this class and he's like, I think I'm going to start my homework early for next week. And I went, oh, he's going to do all his homework tonight. Ryan is not an underachiever. I'm an underachiever. I'll wait till Sunday to do the homework for Monday. Ryan's going to wake up Wednesday morning. This is a Monday, by the way. Ryan's going to wake up Wednesday morning, have everything submitted. And I'll be the one calling him going, dude, what'd you do for that assignment piece? Can you share your
Nice.
code with me?
Nice. Yeah, it's a good intro stuff. So,
Good.
yeah, it's been working pretty well.
Well, we are going to hit 20 very soon. And
Hope so.
I think we've been doing like the 2-3 week drop, and it kind of fits really well with our life and how we do things because, brother, we've got some adventures to talk about today. We've
Yes.
got some repair work to talk about. We've got some future adventures and also a little bit of rich dumb shit. So do I get at least one cuss word? Do I get a cuss word?
You can have. Hey, we're marked with the big E, so you can do what
Okay.
you would like.
I like that. Good. So maybe I can drop some bombs later. Dude, where have you been? It's only 2024. We're only into February, and you've already gone to a convention.
Gone to 2 actually. Spent a day. There's a local video game, audio, music convention called Magfest here in Washington D.C. metro area. I only went for a day, or was there for that period for mostly doing some work with the TCG group and some Magic the Gathering, and then got out and go adventuring. Got to go play some pinball. They had a
Ooh.
lot of pinball art machines. Did some claw machine stuff. I wanted to try that out. So they had some claw machines on free play. So I got to choose, and they got to say I've been chosen. Picked up a dolphin and I'm trying to get a little bear. You don't get to keep them, but they would have them in the machines, and you got to go play with them and see if you could actually have a claw grab it and get the stuffed animal out of the machine.
All right,
That was one.
hold on. Straight dope. Was that claw machine as easy or harder than other claw machines? Or easier than other claw machines? Because you've had to have played a claw machine before in your life.
It's been years because I was so terrible at them.
Yeah.
I probably did 20 tries and I got 2 stuffed animals out of it.
Okay, that's probably about right. I have a feeling it may be a little higher in some of the places, but they are not super easy, bro. They're not super like I'm just dropping down and I've been chosen. You've really got to work to get one. I watch some of those on YouTube and I fall down into the hole of ramp vending machines.
Okay. No, guy gave us a couple hints that was there. He's like, yep, look for butts in the air and big things to grab onto. Seriously, that's what he said. So you can get in there and grab them. If it's pointing towards the end, don't go after that one because the claw is just going to come right off of it.
All right. So when I look up Super Magfest, the very first thing that shows up is an Atari joystick on their page. Because are they retro all around or are they just retro a little bit?
Oh, they're big time retro all around. They have like indie. There's an indie group that they, you can show up and people brought their own cabinet where they built their own game for that thing and showing it off.
No
Games for older
way.
machines. Yeah, they're doing a lot of that. They're doing newer stuff. There's a whole bunch of, if you're an indie developer, they have a whole alley towards you. They had so many, like a whole section of like dance machines, a whole section of pinball where they're doing competitions. They have other arcade games. Sadly, it's the second year in a row I did not see Dig Dug there. I was maybe sad. But played some other
Sacrilege.
stuff. Played some Galaga, I believe, some Miss Pac-Man. So I gravitate more towards the older arcades, stand-ups. But that was there. They have a little shop area. There's a whole big board game section. There's a whole trading card section. People doing D&D. They had the Artemis bridge simulator.
Oh, love that one.
Cosplay, crazy, whole bunch of music, all kinds of stuff. So it's a big event every year. It's in the usually early to mid January.
All right, TCG. I saw that they talk about collectible card games on the website.
Yes.
What did you do? Did you support an area, or were you just hanging out, having fun, or what did you do around that?
I was doing primarily Magic, so got stuff like launched an event, launched a flight. We had people
Really?
coming in. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done that. That's
Yeah.
the first one I've done in like years. They did a lot of, cut slip, whatever needed to get done. Some little things helping out a little bit. Saw a couple, and then took a break and then wandered around the convention. It was a good time.
You'd be so proud of me, Ryan. I recently went up to Stillwater to visit my daughter at college, and her boyfriend broke out some commander decks, and we played a little 3-player with commander decks. And I had no idea what the deck was. I saw the commanders, and I looked at the 3 commanders, and I said, I'm going to pick this one.
Okay.
Dude, first draw 7 cards. I got a fetch land. I got a return land. I've got an artifact land, and I got a land. And or maybe it was only 3 of the 7. And I went, if I play this card first, draw, play this card, return this card next turn, draw, maybe get another mana, I can start making this deck work. It's still there, bro. I still got the skills.
Nice.
I was rocking a deck I'd never seen before. And I made that first. I told them when we were done, I didn't win, but I told them when I was done, when I saw that first 7 cards, I said, I think I can synergy this, you know what I mean, to get my game going. And it worked. Awesome. I love Magic. It's so good, dude. I'm glad you were there kicking it off for people. Was everybody pretty new, or were you running tournaments for like folks that knew what was going on?
There's some of both. There's a lot of casual players there that they want to come do Magic because there's like 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And like, here, we're going to show up, we're going to play for 4 hours, and they're going to go off and do something else.
Yeah.
Because it's just show up. Some people hang out there for the entire weekend. Great.
A little bit like maybe PAX Unplugged. Remember we did that out in Philly. They definitely had a lot of things, and like we ran games for tabletop. HSC did, and I had folks come to join the game, but they were also doing 15 other thousand things, and they were just showing up for that 1 4-hour segment to play a game. You had some of that, or?
Oh, definitely. So because they'd be going, hey, we're gonna go catch this concert at like 8 or 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
We'd be rolling in to go, what's going on right now? Oh, well, we got this other thing, so whatever. They do a great job. They really do. They really do an awesome job putting it together and making a nice casual event for everybody. So that's great. But it's a neat little. It's not little. It's a neat convention that pretty much sells out. They sold out of tickets this year, which I think is somewhere around 20,000 attendees.
Oh, that's great.
Every hotel in the area is booked. Anything down, I mean, the closest hotel you could get, I think, was across the bridge. So if you're familiar with DC, that National Harbor is on the Maryland side. You go across the bridge, and then you can get a hotel on that side.
Dude,
I drove from home every day. So
what was your talk about pinball? Did you go to a pinball museum, or are you talking about the pinball
no
that was there
pinball.
at Magfest?
There probably was between pinball and stand-up arcade games, 200,
Oh, wow.
300, easy.
That's a lot of stuff to move.
Oh yeah.
That's a
Ton.
lot. We're going to be going out to VCF East again, and
Yes.
remember, Usagi brought stuff, and
Hmm.
LGR brought stuff. They actually had quite a spread for Usagi. I mean, that's Texas to Maryland, or no, what's in New Jersey? That's
Jersey.
Texas to New Jersey. He brought stuff, and he brought the
Definitely.
Centurion. So this is that same kind of idea. People are bringing some real hefty hardware.
Oh yeah, they'll have multiple semis full of stuff show up, from my understanding. Magfest himself owns some games, and then you have other people bring their own stuff, and then put it's all in free play. They did actually have a retro museum. I saw a Vic 20 that was a little bit in sad shape. It worked. The monitor didn't. A whole bunch of other 8-bit stuff floating around there. Amiga Bill did a walk around
Oh,
and had
cool.
a live stream when he was there. And I think in the beginning of that, I didn't realize he was live streaming when I went up to talk to him, but ended up at the beginning of his live stream.
Yeah, Amiga Bill is somewhat similar to some of the other folks we saw at VCF East, that they had a panel and they were just talking about how Twitch streaming retro computing, which is a little younger than us, right? That we went to YouTube retro gaming and we digest it via YouTube. There's a younger group that is using Twitch and using it on those lines. So you ended up on a Twitch stream for Amiga Bill.
Correct.
Look at that. That won't be
at the beginning, in the first couple minutes of that episode, whenever he was doing it.
Well, dear listener, I would like to have this noted that the first person that Ryan ever Twitch streamed for was for me with HFC. So, and actually it was High Shelf Gaming back at that time. It was before the merger with Collective. And yeah, so I was your first Twitch stream partner, just FYI. So Amiga Bill, wrong. It's me and you. He's cut out. But I do have Amiga Bill's autograph from when I met him up at VCF East. So that's
correct.
Cool. Yes, that's
on the big disc.
Dude, that sounds like it was a great time. Did you slip in here? I'm going to try and make a sexy segue. Did you slip into any other online or in-person events here recently?
Oh, we did. I know we talked about it before. System Source.
Yeah, System Source.
They're an awesome museum in Maryland. Went up with some friends here. They were like, "Hey, do you want to go up with us?" And I went along for the ride, which is great. Went there one day. There was one guy took an Atari that he was recapping. I just went to socialize. I took my MacBook and was doing some Amiga emulation stuff, and actually playing with my LCD name badge, playing with that a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Is what I took as my project. Nothing old, but I saw all kinds of stuff there too. The next station, somebody was working on an Apple II. Saw some SGIs, some Sun stuff, some Sun IPCs, little lunch boxes. There was some bigger mainframe with a full height 5 1/4 disc they were trying to get to work. So they had a lot of neat stuff there. That place was busy. I think 45 or 50 people signed up. And it was busy inside of there, just people just working on stuff. Wow. So that was a really good trip as well. He's doing a couple of those, like, I don't know, 3, 4 a year. They come on up and work on things, go see the museum. And
I need to keep my eye out locally for more of those time of repair get-togethers, because that is everyone has something broken. Like
definitely.
Commodore monitor just broke. So everybody has something broken that they need fixed.
So You talked like you want to go to a meetup. You mentioned you may have gone to a meetup.
Oh
My
yeah.
my crystal ball
Oh
might
yeah.
be
I
correct.
finally made a DFW retro group meeting, Ryan. So for the listeners that have been here for all 10 episodes, this is episode 10.
10, right? Yeah.
You can listen to me in the past miss two different meetups. One was VCF Southwest, and one
Yes.
was just a generic DFW retro group. This last one came together, and by God, I made it happen. Life,
Awesome.
everything aligned, and I was able to be there.
Nice.
It was
Nice.
really nice. Now, I'm down in Dallas, which is the headquarters of, well, I shouldn't say headquarters, 8-Bit Guys right out of here.
Right.
Usagi is out of here. They're not in Dallas. One's kind of in Fort Worth and one's down, I believe, near Waco.
That's
But
close.
they're North Texas people. And
Yeah.
so we got a pretty vibrant scene. Now we don't see a lot of Next and Dex and things like that. It's a lot of TI down in this neck of the woods.
Yeah. Can't imagine why.
I know. You can't imagine why. And so I saw some really good spreads. I saw there was a guy there that had, and I'll look up his. I took a picture somewhere. I'll look up his site. But what he has done is on the Tandy TI side, is been collecting all the things around it and making it a website because we're old. We don't do TikTok, and he had so many great old TI machines, and he had machines that were even these like weird off-brand, like sold through a chemical agricultural company to farmers.
Oh, interesting. And
The
they're
only
like
way,
TI,
yeah,
TI
it
inside of it.
it was the idea that they were kind of like teletype, right? That they were made for the farmer to log
Okay.
in and see what's his forecast look like. What's this information?
Oh, that's
What are these
interesting.
details? Badged differently, branded differently. One was like green, I guess. I don't know.
That makes
Um,
sense.
it's really neat. It was really neat.
Yeah.
And he was actually wearing a ring that was from Texas Instruments for someone that hit
Oh,
like the $1 million sales club, or how those things are, Ryan. We've
yeah.
seen it.
Definitely.
Yeah, we've seen that around our business all our life, that the sales guys get the ring for selling $3 million. And he had got it from someone who was passing away that wanted to move
Oh,
his collection to someone that counted, that wanted to
that
hold
makes
it.
sense.
Everyone counts. I know I just said that. Everyone counts. But
Yeah.
he wanted the ring to go someplace that it had some life and value besides being a ring, that it was a
Right.
piece of that life. Saw a guy who basically, through all 8-bit computing, built a synthesizer. He a retired mechanical engineer that said, "What can I do with 8088?"
Huh.
And built this incredibly, his own cards, his own PCB setup, his own backplane,
Oh,
and
wow.
it was crazy. Saw a lot of really neat exhibits. One of my most fun moments was I was by a SX64 that was being demoed,
Oh, yeah.
and this kid was sitting there, and I say kid, 17, I don't know, 15, 50. I don't think he drove yet. I'm going to go 15.
Anybody younger than we are is a
Yeah,
kid.
kid. And so I'm going to say 15. And he's like, "How do I start this game?" He's looking at the Commodore 64 SX
Yeah.
and he's looking at it, and it's a hockey game. And there were some joysticks sitting there in the keyboard. And I
Okay.
said, "Try just pushing the button on the joystick. Try the other joystick." And he started playing. He played this hockey game. And
Nice.
so of course I'm like, "What brought you to the retro gaming meetup?" Because he's like
Oh,
fucking
nice.
15, right?
Yep.
And what brought you here? Watches 8-bit guy. And he goes, when's 8-bit guy going to be here? And I said, I don't know. I don't know when 8-bit guy is going to be here. But have you ever checked out Adrian Black? Have you ever checked out this? Have you ever checked out that? And kind of
Oh,
dropped a
nice.
few ideas for him to check out. High
Right.
Shelf Rich. I give him a few ideas for places to
Nice.
look for retro content. But they walked in before me when I was getting there, and it was him and his father, definitely, and I think
Okay.
his sister. I think it
Oh,
was
cool.
a little family getaway, right? Like the
Nice.
kid was, "I really want to go do this, Dad. I really want to go do this." And the dad's like, "I'll take you. If anybody's weird, I'm going to punch him in the face." And everybody's really cool, as you know, in this organization.
Yes.
I did miss a pickup of an SX64 that was over in the sell pile, but it looked bad. It looked really bad. And so I didn't even ask about price. I didn't even move on it. I just said, there will be a day I add an SX64 to my collection. Today's not the day.
That's
So
fair. I mean,
I let it go.
there's so many projects that are sitting around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of stuff on my desk.
Dude,
But
I know projects all over the place. What was the last thing you got working?
last thing I got working,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go slightly off script. I got an A500 booting that I'm giving to you.
Yes! The A500 for Rich to complete his Commodore collection based on the poster.
Nice. So that's going on. That's working. I took apart my A4000 keyboard. I had a
Ooh.
broken stem. Little plastic plunger thing was broken. Found one online. Bought a set of them. Pulled all the keycaps off. Cleaned everything. And God, I think there's 38 little screws in the back of an Amiga 4 keyboard that you take out. And it's like, oh my God, there's these tiny little gold. Yeah, there's a million of them. So that was awesome. But it was a couple of days worth of work by the time I just got everything off. Oh my God, was this keyboard so dirty and gross, and the crap from under. Oh my gosh. And I just took the keycaps, dunked them in water with a little bit of Dawn, let them sit, scrubbed them with a toothbrush. They got to dry out overnight. Perfect. And let everything else dry, put it all back together, and it worked. Had a little bit of issue with one of the plungers that I tried. I got 5 of them, and I think some of the carbon came off of one, and I got one that actually finally worked. So it's all working. Luckily I had the keycap. I just the plastic piece stem was broken. So I'm super happy about that.
So I have an interesting comment about keyboards. I bought a new PC, not this January, the one before, and it was to help out with streaming with HSC. And I've done a bunch of just being tech behind events that they stream. So I got a streaming PC, and of course it came with a keyboard, mechanical keyboard, right?
Cool.
I want you to listen to this right now. Oh, let me make sure I'm in the right thing. Let me make sure I'm down here.
Oh, I can hear you. I can definitely hear you.
Okay. I'm hitting the E key, right?
Okay.
It's catching 2 out of 3 times.
What?
Brand new keyboard, but it's e-waste. It was the free one that came with the unit, right?
Okay.
It's just e-waste. It's like, why do they even make this crap? You're working on a keyboard from 30 years ago.
Yep.
That has one key issue related to a broken stem. I'm working on a 1-year-old something keyboard, 1 year and a couple months, that all of a sudden, let me do it again. Oh, everyone's hitting now. Okay.
Of course they are.
It's like, holy smokes, dude. It's amazing. You talked about 38 screws. You talked about a mechanical keyboard that was actually built that was, as we talk about sometimes, meant the last 5-6 years. And here it is 30 years later, rocking it.
Yeah, I don't understand. It's a race to the bottom, unfortunately. But
it is. E-waste. Yeah. And now, that wasn't a question. That was a comment. My next question is, why didn't you 3D print a stem? Just curious. I don't even know you can. I just thought about it right now.
You can. I did print one, but there are some challenges with it. There's the stem itself, which was broken, and I did print one, but I did print all of the rafts and stuff, the filler, because there's empty spaces. And then you got to pop this little plastic thing off with the carbon thing on it, and we'd have to put it back on top of it, because really when the keycap hits, this carbon piece flattens out, and that's what's making the connection that says, hey, I hit the key. And it was easier just to buy ones. This guy obviously took apart some keyboard. I got 5 stems and 5 of these little rubber things in them.
Oh yeah,
So
you can't 3D print the rubber things.
no, I didn't,
Yeah.
and I think I actually needed one of those too.
Yeah.
So it was just like, we're just gonna go buy this and we're gonna be done with it. And I have a couple extra parts for potential later in life.
Yep.
And I did end up buying some key cap or a key carbon paste thing that in case that carbon comes off. Because if somebody uses isopropyl alcohol on it, you'll strip all the carbon off, which is terrible.
I've
And then
heard
you
about
gotta go,
this.
yes. It's like, no, don't clean it. And then there's this little, I don't even know what it's called now. And I don't know where it is, but it's this little carbon stuff in a thing that you can actually put on the back on it. So then you now have carbon on your plunger and then it'll actually work again.
I've heard about that. I've heard about that pen. I have some keyboard issues that I'm about to work on two of my bread bins, and
Okay.
I can't tell. I'll hook up the ohm meter and see if I'm getting full contact, and if I'm not, then I need to take things apart because there's maybe a contact issue. Not necessarily anything wrong with the
Sure.
plunger. Maybe nothing wrong with the keycap. Maybe
Right.
someone screwed up that connection point. So very valid. Very valid. But yes, I wondered about the 3D printing because, listener, I'm telling you, Ryan can 3D print some great stuff. He's a master of his machine. I have so many little things from him, and I know as he's built up some of his Amigas, he's 3D printed covers and plates and
Oh,
this
definitely.
and that. So I was curious why that didn't go. And you know what? It didn't go because you tried it and it wasn't successful. And then you moved on to step 2.
Yeah. The juice wasn't worth the squeeze, I guess.
That's a good way to put it. That is a good way to put it.
It was like, I think I could have made this work, but I don't, that's not where I want to spend my energy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I totally get it. Sometimes you just need to buy things to make things happen. And sometimes buying things doesn't necessarily turn out as well as you wanted, but in this case it worked out really well.
So about buying things, what have you bought lately?
Don't do this, Ryan. Don't embarrass me in front of the audience.
Wanted to buy. I mean, I can think of a few things off the top of my head that might be in your
We're
some
going to have
storage areas. So I know he wants to part with some of this too. That if I'll let him get into that. But I know you've bought stuff.
let's create a new segment for our show called "Why Do I Buy This Stuff?" I think that should be a new segment because literally, and by the way, dear listener, most of my decisions involve copious amounts of alcohol, is what happens. So I have a copious amount of alcohol decision, and I have a not copious amount of alcohol decision. My first one, we'll start with the good one.
Okay.
I pinged Ryan, and this is why he wants to make this a section. I pinged Ryan like a week after I made this decision because it showed up in the mail and I forgot about it. And I was like, oh, dude, I bought a PDP 11 kit. And he's like, what did you buy, Rich? And I was like, I bought this like make your own PDP 11 and they send you everything you need. And there's like an Adreno in it. And there's like all these switches and flips and you got to solder and all this. Yep. And he's like, okay, that sounds kind of cool. Dumb decision, but that sounds kind of cool. And then another week goes by and I go, oh yeah, no, Ryan, I'm sorry. It was the Altair kit I bought. It wasn't a PDP 11 at all. I was drunk.
It's not in the same computer.
It's not in the same computer. But the Altair is the one you see on War Games. So that's the only thing I can say, right? Wasn't it War Games?
No,
Jesus.
The similar technology. It was an MSI on War Games.
Oh.
I think the Altair was a competing computer at the time, I believe. Yeah. But the MSI was the one with the 8-inch discs that changed his grades on.
That's right.
Almost started World War III, but more importantly, changed his grades on, I guess. But
I have no grades of change. I just have a project coming up. It's from Add Water and Stir. It is a Altair Duino. I have joined their Discord, so I'm now checking out what everybody's doing. No
Okay.
idea. I bought it because it's cool. I'm going to
No,
build it. And you know what? It's going to sit behind me. Ryan, before we kicked off, listener, showed me the A500 on his bench he's working on.
yes.
And I got behind me a big open space. And I think the Altair needs to live somewhere in here when I'm done. I am going to try and program it. I am going to try and understand it. But dude, it was a stupid buy. There was nothing good about that purchase. It was just a dumb buy. It was, yeah, sometimes, who was it that said a fool and his money are parted quickly or often parted? Who was
PT Barnum, I believe.
Yeah, that's me. I was a fool in my money that night that I bought this kit. I need it like I need a hole in my head, as my dad would say. And but thank goodness I can buy it and still buy some groceries tomorrow. So I really can't complain.
Yeah.
Life's pretty good. Life's pretty good.
There
And-
are worse buys that you've made.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're not.
I've seen some.
We're just not gonna. We'll save those for other events when I
Okay, that's
I'm rolling them. My other stupid purchase, which really isn't a stupid purchase, is just an over purchase. And
Oh.
I have not talked to Ryan about this, folks.
Oh, do tell.
I just got my retro tink delivered. So
Oh,
I was filming my last episode about using the C64 diag kit, and
Okay.
my 1702 died. It did the
great.
it did the line across the center, and it was done. It
Oh.
went bloop, like to a single white line, yellow line, blue line, I don't know. And then it just went off. I gave it a little tap on top, and it went line again and disappeared. And I went, okay, I got a project. And I moved it off the shelf. I moved it off the bench. And I hooked up a LCD with a composite to HDMI converter. But as we all know, Commodore 64, that little yellow output is not just composite. It's like lumens, and the red one's chromins. And so you got to plug it into 1702, and it creates kind of a pseudo S-video environment. So I hooked up my composite to HDMI to get black and white to finish the episode. And I finished the episode, it went away. And then I was like, what do I want to do? And I went, everyone talks about the retro tink. Adrian uses a retro tink. Linus Tech Tips just did a retro tink review for retro gaming with other systems, not just Commodore. And so I bought one. And it's a lot more expensive. Is it? It's great, dude. It worked perfect out of the box. I had an S-video output for a monitor cable for the C64, and I plugged that into the retro tink. Everything showed up perfect. I just filmed an episode about setting it up. I also did a HDMI capture device. So now instead of filming my monitor will be a video capture within the layout. So it'll be nice. I have a use for it. But dude, I probably could have bought an S-video to HDMI adapter and saved a few bucks.
Some of them are pretty terrible.
Yeah.
I have a GBS 8200 that is pretty decent. But it's like a cheap Chinese board that I had to do some modifications to, and it's okay. It's a lot of tinkering.
Okay. I think I'm just going to guess. Everybody can please, email us and tell us. I'm going to guess the retro tink is a guy who got that and did all the tinking to where it's kind of ready to go. You what?
I think yours is better. A GBS 8200's about $30.
Oh yeah. I spent a little more than that, dude. I think it's like $300. I can't remember exactly how much I spent. Maybe I did it while I was drinking too. But
no, I was mentally thinking they're in the 300 range.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be pretty nice. The other one that I've seen a lot of is the OSSC. It's another one that's an open source one that actually would do a lot of stuff.
I think I have a hacker box for that.
Oh, really?
Shit. I think I do. Now that you said that, I think I have a hacker box for that I haven't done yet.
And that means cool. You will have two of them.
Yeah, so I'll have two. But I bought this one because sometimes you buy things, and sometimes you build things. And this one was really nice because I was able to get right back to working with my Commodores. And as you know, I have other machines back there. And
a couple.
Yeah, this is going to help with component. This is going to help with SCART conversion. So I'll be able to do some of those pieces of the puzzle as I learn in the retro community. Because right now I'm a newbie. I need to learn a lot more, but this at least makes it to where now I can just use an LCD out there. And eventually I will fix my 1702. And when
There
I
you
do
go.
fix my 1702, I'll put it back on the bench because I really like the 1702.
Oh, cool.
I might still figure out a way to do the video capture, but we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that when we get to it, if that makes sense.
Oh, that definitely makes sense. I made a willpower save just recently. Somebody local here had a black next station, and for some reason I've always wanted it next. I don't
This
know
doesn't
why.
sound like a willpower save. This sounds like you denied yourself the beauty of a next computer.
Yeah, but I have my Amigas. I can't cheat on my Amigas. They get grumpy. You know, I don't want to lose half of them in weird ways. So I've made that save. Uh, yes, it's okay.
You didn't buy it.
Didn't buy it.
Until you do buy it, then you can end up on my segment called "Why Do I Buy This Stuff?" Because
I'm
so far you've done really good. You have not ended up on the segment "Why Do I Buy This Stuff?"
I don't think I have, but well, I have more Amigas than I know what I'm going to do with them.
Oh, but you got great deals.
I got some good deals, and
You
that's
do get
kind
good
of.
deals.
But now I'm getting to that category as I buy more of them. I'm like, why did I buy that? What am I going to do with
Yeah,
that one?
yeah, I know.
So,
So hopefully we'll hear about some of those projects because, dear listener, I heard a little inside skinny on a double monitor layout that he's working on. So maybe we'll hear about that in the future.
I hope so. Hopefully, I'll get that all to work, and that will be fun. And that we'll leave that as a teaser.
I like that as a teaser on why do I buy this stuff because I have more stuff coming in. I'm sure that
Mhm.
we can revisit this category. Um,
The
dude,
VCF East is coming up. I'm imagining I have two big boxes already saved for you to
yes,
mail stuff back to Texas and bubble wrap.
yes.
So I'm assuming you're going to buy something, and we're
This,
going to have to mail it.
this might be my SX64 visit.
You never know what's going to
I
be.
have been contemplating the board of Commodore, which you know what? I'll put a link in the show notes to go. You could buy your own board of Commodore poster.
Yeah.
And I'm looking up there. I would love to run into some of the machines like we've talked about, like the C116. That's very much more an international machine than it is for us here in the United States.
Yeah, I think it's only made
Um,
in Germany
I
or sold in
know.
Germany.
I would love to see something like that come up. But as I look at the board and I go, okay, 128's done, 64 done, 64C, C16's done. That SX64 is screaming at me. And we might see one. I didn't see one last year at VCF East. We might see one this year. And
Around.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll
You
see
never
what
know.
happens.
If you make that Dallas meetup, that other one still might be there.
Oh, it was such a piece of junk, dude. It looked so tore up from the ground up. By the way, everyone, he did tell me you should have made a deal offer because you could use the parts, right? Just like we
Yes.
talked about the Amiga 4000 with its plunger and its keycaps. It had a keyboard. It was all broken apart. There was no cover on it. Some of the keys were missing, but there were a lot of keys still there. 90% of those keys were still there. 95% of those keys were still there. There's a
Yeah.
lot of pieces that need to be used in the future out of that 95% if it wasn't restorable. If it was restorable, that's a different story. But
Yep.
if it's e-waste, at least you can take all the periphery and help
Yes.
someone else and yourself. So
And even if it doesn't work, you could have put a little LCD panel in there and done some other things with it.
yeah, that would be neat. I should have bought it. It's not like
It's okay.
that could
It's
have been
okay.
on this segment. I could have shown up and said, why did I buy that? I don't know. It's sitting in my garage.
I think until you move some of the other things off to
I
some
do.
new homes,
Yes.
as they move to new homes, then I think you get the pass to go pick up some other stuff.
I know I'm on that. I'm on it. I'm with this. This could turn into a self-help episode real quick that I need to wait to buy more things. Ryan, you got any more adventures coming up in your life?
Well, I know I sparked your interest because you have had a lot of interest with CrimeCon.
Love CrimeCon. Love Crime True TV. Love all that. And when I went to CrimeCon in Nashville, I had so much. And for the listeners, the girlfriend and I went. She saw it. It was on her bucket list. We went. It literally was 90% women and 10% men. And quite a few of the men were there working. And the other ones were kind of like me, that you're there with your girlfriend. I saw very few like dude groups hanging out at CrimeCon. I'm sure some of the people I saw were probably guys hanging out, having their fun. It was definitely a ladies' event more than anything else, which is really good for them. Safe place, everyone there has the same thing. You don't have to deal with a lot of weird dudes trying to hit on you. I mean, there's a good reason for all that. But CrimeCon was a blast. We had so much fun.
So we're going to a convention called AwesomeCon here in DC.
Oh.
2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks. So it'll have already happened by the time this drops, I believe.
Yeah, it probably will.
Sorry, or it'll be right around, or be the week before. I don't remember how that all works out. But anyway, inside of AwesomeCon, CrimeCon is doing an event. So it's an extra ticket. So we bought the tickets, and we have to go to different places and go look at the adventure, or go look at what happened. And then there's a panel that evening where they go over what happened, and just like, did you figure out the same thing that really happened?
Okay, so you're getting a real life scenario of a crime that involves someone being murdered is going to be my easy guess. They are going to have a scavenger type hunt that you need to collect clues, you need to collect data, and then make your decision about what the results are.
Yep, and then we go to a panel. I believe the panel's at 8:30 in the evening on Saturday. So we have all day Saturday to go get the information, go do the scavenger hunt and do stuff, and then go to this panel at 8:30.
That is going to be fun.
So it's like, it was pretty cheap. It was like $20 for each of us, so like $40 total.
Yeah.
And it's just like an extra ticket, just something different to do. It sounds pretty neat.
Now, do Amy or you listen to much true crime or anything like that? Does that spark any of y'all's interest?
She reads a lot of mysteries. I'm pretty sure she likes them quite a bit.
Good.
So that'll be good. We did see that CrimeCon was going to Nashville this year.
Yeah, it is.
And she was like, "Oh, that looks interesting." So don't know if that'll do anything or not, but she's interested.
Let's look at the dates real quick. I know, dear listener, I've now scooched into Friendland, right? We've now left the podcast because I'm going May 31st to June 2nd is when that is. So you guys see what you think about that. Let me know what you think about that. CrimeCon in Nashville are a nice, big, long-ass drive for me. They're, I think we talked about on the podcast before that our plane got all messed up and I just drove home from Nashville. It's doable. Right. It's a long drive. Dallas to Nashville is a long drive, but I like to drive. But yeah, if you guys are doing that, you need to let me know what's going on. Yeah.
I don't know if we are or not.
Oh, and it's at the Gaylord in Opryland. You and I hung out there so much during Quest Digital Media Days.
We had that week-long convention thing there.
Yes. Oh my gosh, dude. Don't go. Don't go.
Don't go?
Don't go. That's me saying go because this will fit into my category of stuff I shouldn't have bought. I will be there with you at CrimeCon and we'll have a blast. So, dude, that's great. I can't wait to hear about AwesomeCon and I can't wait to hear the follow-up about that event. I know in Vegas I've done CSI had a thing there for a while that you could go do the CSI experience. And it was very similar that, hey, here's a scene. Here's the tools at your disposal. Can you figure out what happened? And they had some real world things kind of threaded in there. So hopefully you have a similar experience too. I hope it's a blast.
It should be good. I mean, the convention itself will be awesome.
Well, it is AwesomeCon.
It is AwesomeCon. Yeah. There's National Science Foundation does stuff there. The NASA Goddard has stuff.
Oh.
The FBI's there they had some stuff they were doing. I know the CIA sponsors things.
Wow.
Last year the Marines were highly entertaining because if you would go there and did so many pull-ups, they'd give you something, and they were all, in standard Marine fashion, cheering you on. You could do one more. You could do it.
Yeah.
You got 3 Marines yelling at you.
How'd you do?
I didn't. I was just like, what? That ain't happening.
Dear listener, Ryan has guns like a howitzer. So if he would have jumped up there, it would be like 50, 60 pull-ups without blinking an eye.
Sure. You keep your eyes closed. I'll count, and I'll let you know when I'm done. Pretty much how that'll go down.
Anything with TCGs at AwesomeCon?
No, I think we're going to do some board game stuff. I've kind of moved more into that.
Yep.
We're doing some board game stuff. We're really looking for the science things. Most of the main actors are Star Wars and like Breaking Bad and anime, which we're not as interested in any of those things. The week after we go to GalaxyCon, which is has more Star Trek people, so we're more interested in those.
That is very cool. That is very cool. Well,
so we're gonna be busy.
I can't wait to hear the wrap up on that one, and kind of get the feedback on who you met, what you saw, how was the CrimeCon edition, and see how that event took place. It sounds like it's going to be a blast. I would have spent $20 without blinking an eye to see. Hell, I spent too much money, so you can't take me as a guide on spending money, but that is
nice.
Anything else, Mr. Ryan, on your docket? Or I think we might leave these people be with where we are with a little bit of a cliffhanger.
I think it's been great. Looking forward to, we did 10, looking for another 10.
Oh, yeah.
And having some fun, and definitely interested in knowing what stupid thing did you buy next time.
Oh, it's coming. Trust me. I'm just not telling you what's in the mail right now. There's already another stupid thing in the mail. I'll just wait until I get it, and then I'll tell you about it.
Do we need to work as when you buy something, we get a text to say yes or no?
No. All my bills are paid. I live a very financially responsible life, except for these stupid things I buy here and there.
I was not implying that your finances were messed up, but it would prevent stupid things from showing up. eBay for $300, no, denied.
All right, we're going to look into an app that allows Ryan to approve my transactions, and we'll see how that goes.
Hopefully, it's not going to go well.
No, he'll just get too many notifications. He'll turn off the silencing, but
no, I'll rewrite it to go, Rich is buying another Amiga.
shopgoodwill.com.
Nice. Love it.
All right.
Well, thank you all.
Anything else?
Bye all, and keep it safe. Have fun.
Thanks everyone for joining us. Have a great week and weekend. Bye.